Welcome back, everyone. One of the key topics that we're seeing in America is gas prices. They are high. Brandon and I see it all day, but too often I think people are just saying, hey, gas prices are high, this stinks, we've got to save money. But today we're going to break down why those gas prices are so high and why they're not going to go down anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm interested because I fall in that boat where I say, oh, look at the gas price. But I don't know why.
Definitely.
It's going up.
Okay, let's break it down. So obviously there are broad topics that most people are aware of. We hear supply chain issues all the time, and that does carry over to the oil and gas industry as well. They don't have enough workers to work the machines that extract the oil. They don't have enough people to ship them, and just across the board, there's not enough infrastructure there to get the oil to the places where it's needed. So because of that, we don't have enough supply naturally, and so because of that, the prices are going up because the people who want it the most will pay more money for it. And if you saw today, Saudi Arabia reported that Aramco made $110 billion in profits. So someone's making a ton of money off all this oil.
Okay. So does the U.S. mainly get oil from Saudi Arabia?
So that's what's interesting. The U.S. is the number one producer of oil. However, we're exporting a ton of the oil. So in return, we have to buy oil because we don't say, hey, we're just going to produce all our oil, give it to the U.S. and be energy independent. We're selling it to other countries, and we're also buying it from other places, such as Russia, who has launched a war. And because of that, the U.S. has responded with sanctions. Other countries have as well. And that further limits the oil supply in the U.S. And because of that, less and less supply, more and more money that has to be spent to buy it.
Yeah, so do you think, do you think the gas prices will be?
I would say it'll probably go up to $5 a gallon. I would say no doubt, because it takes about 6 months for an oil company to set up a new rig, drill for the oil, and bring the oil into the market. So even if right now the big US oil companies say, hey, we're going to start drilling, we're going to get the oil out into the market, the U.S. consumer won't see that oil during the summer season when they want to travel, when they want to drive for July 4th weekend. That new oil is not going to be there.
Do you think it will just stay at this price though, and this will be the new market?
I don't think so, because just eventually, if there's an opportunity, someone's going to seize it. It could be an entrepreneur who comes in, gets investment, starts drilling for oil. It could be trade deals, but someone's going to want that profit.
Yeah, I guess my question though is we see housing prices up.
Yes.
So what's going to make somebody want? Don't you think then you have a problem with companies trying to make the most profit? So if people are already willing to pay $4 a gallon, because most people don't have a choice, what's the point of lowering it?
So I don't think it's just people don't necessarily want to lower it. The companies aren't going to want to lower it because more and more people are going green. They're probably not going to want to produce more gas.
Yeah.
Because once the supply chain issue's over, then all of a sudden if the gas prices go down to $2 a gallon, then they're going to be taking losses. So that's another thing to consider. Green movement right now is putting these oil companies slowly out of business, and they have to account for that because they're basically in the cash cow stage where they're trying to just make as many profits they can before they go out of the business and ultimately decline. Whether that's 20 years or 120 years from now, eventually likely will come, or
So
they'll shrink.
it seems like, from my understanding, it all depends what people are willing to pay. If it gets to a point where people revolt, but then the people will probably either switch over to electric cars. The market, I see it where it's people will sell things for whatever people are willing to buy. And then that becomes a new market. So we're saying, $4 is wicked expensive compared to $2.50 that we were paying 2 years ago. But then 5 years from now, $4 could seem cheap.
Yes, it's all relative. And that's a great point as well, because we have so much inflation in the economy. Not all of the price increase is just off the supply and demand. Some of it's just the natural inflation.
Yeah, the market it's a weird thing because it's people, all it takes is a year for that new low standard price to change.
To be accepted.
Because
Yes.
right now we think 4 is high, as I mentioned, because we think